Hogwarts Legacy has been shattering records since its release. The biggest Harry Potter game launch of all time, it's in the top 4 best-selling games on Steam, and the most viewers for a single game on Twitch of all time. But why are fans obsessed with this game, and what Easter eggs did they throw in for us to find while we're waiting for Twitch drops? That's what we're exploring today. Let's do it. Part 2. In a 10 Hagrid Memorial. Players of Hogwarts Legacy have discovered what they believe to be a tribute to the late Robbie Coltrane within the game. Harry Potter enthusiasts are thrilled to see Hagrid, one of the most adored characters from the books, receiving some acknowledgement within the game, even though technically he might not even exist yet. Throughout the series, Hagrid has played various different roles, such as the groundskeeper of Hogwarts and, in fact, a teacher, and due to his relationship with Harry, he became a significant figure for fans, and following Coltrane's passing back in October of 2022, fans are happy to see him getting at least a little bit of a feature within the game. The memorial is conveniently located by flying south of Hogwarts until you find Hagrid's hut. Yep, it's right behind there. It's positioned outside by the lake, and near that hut is a small gravestone with a hippogriff on the front, which many believe to be a nod to Hagrid and his beloved Buckbeak, which I feel like is pretty accurate considering it's Hagrid's hut. And at 9, Vanishing Cabinet. The Vanishing Cabinet is a pretty pivotal item in the Harry Potter series, as a pair of Vanishing Cabinets would act as a passage between two places. Vanishing Cabinets were also highly popular during the First Wizarding War, because in the event of a Death Eater attack, you could just step into it and then disappear to the other one, and then when the danger was gone, you could just go back. If an object had been placed in one, it would appear in the other. Okay, it's just like Star Trek teleportation. It's teleportation, alright? A feature, though, that allowed for Draco Malfoy to successfully transport several Death Eaters from Borgin and Burkes into Hogwarts during the Half-Blood Prince, an event which directly caused the death of Albus Dumbledore and in essence started the final battle with Voldemort. And this heartbreaking moment is referenced in Hogwarts Legacy, which makes sense, given that the very same Vanishing Cabinet can be seen by the player in the Room of Requirement. And since the original Vanishing Cabinet was also in the Room of Requirement, we definitely know that this was meant to be the same one. Plus, come on, there's no way that it's not. We all know it. And at 8, giant squid! It's well known that the Great Lake houses many different creatures. A lot of them, alright? It's weird. But none are bigger or perhaps more terrifying than the giant squid. And because the Slytherin common room is actually below ground, you can summon this thing by auto-attacking the windows. Yeah, if you do it enough, you'll be treated to one of the squid's huge tentacles just slamming against the glass. And that's not the only instance you can see this thing either. The giant squid cave is a secret hidden area beneath Hogwarts Castle, accessible only by swimming. In this cave, a squid-themed pedestal can be found next to a mosaic, indicating a potential entrance to a secret area. And as it turns out, placing toast onto the pedestal unlocks Jackdaw's Rest quest, the 15th main quest from the storyline, because giant squids love toast. Players will also be able to sneak a sight of the giant squid while they fly past the lake, because as you zoom above it during flying practice, I think is the situation where this happens, you can see the tentacles pop out. And you can do this no matter what house you're in, alright? So you don't need to worry about being a snake in order to see this game's tentacles. And yes, you know what I meant. And at 7, follow the butterflies. Yep, that's right. There is actually a quest called Follow the Butterflies in Hogwarts Legacy. I'm sure Ron would be pretty steamed about that, given that the name is a direct reference to the iconic line from Chamber of Secrets, "Why spiders? Why couldn't it be Follow the Butterflies?" To begin this quest, you gotta head to Hogsmeade and speak to Clementine Willardsley. She can be found in the Three Broomsticks, and she'll ask you to follow some butterflies deep into the Forbidden Forest. Because, it's forbidden, so go in there. Do it! You can get there a couple of ways, but the most efficient is to travel by Floo to the Forbidden Forest fast travel point and then head north to find these butterflies. The swarming group is red, orange, and purple, so you'll know it when you see it, and then just approach them and then they'll begin to move. So then you gotta follow them as the quest name indicates, and they'll go down the stream and travel up a path and stuff, and then you'll have to fight a Dugbog and some poachers along the way, but keep following them and you'll find a box. You loot it, and then you return to Clementine at the Three Broomsticks, and then you tell her what happened. You can tell her that you found treasure, or you can say that there was nothing there to make sure that you get to keep the loot for yourself. Even though I haven't played it, I feel like even if you say you found the treasure, she's like, okay, you can keep it. I feel like that's the thing. And at 6, Weasley twins. I think in the Harry Potter series, gingers are pretty synonymous with the Weasley family. I don't think there are any other gingers in the books or movies that aren't Weasleys, but that's also kind of the point. No matter. Despite what may be accurate. I think we all think Weasley whenever we see a ginger in Harry Potter. So imagine the intrigue when we see two of them outside of Zonko's joke shop in Hogsmeade. Yeah, in Hogwarts Legacy you can find two identical ginger twin boys wearing what are seemingly hand-me-downs looking into a prank shop. I mean, Easter eggs don't really get as direct as this, okay? Especially when they're twins that are representing future Hogwarts pranksters that will one day own their own joke shop in Hogsmeade. Although these obviously aren't actually Fred and George, since they wouldn't even have been a possible thought yet, let alone alive, given that their parents probably aren't born yet and are probably a couple of generations away at best. But it's confirmed that they're not Fred and George because both of them have both of their ears and they're both alive. Halfway through into number 5, Hogwarts Legacy VR. Okay, the ability to explore Hogwarts and attend classes in a game like this where you aren't forced to play The Boy Who Lived has been wanted for ages. Plenty of fans have been wanting to go to Hogwarts for decades, as evident by the slew of records this game has shattered. Like I said, from most viewed games on Twitch ever to best-selling Harry Potter game, some fans, though, were still bummed by the inability to play this in virtual reality, which would let you feel like a true wizard. But that's kind of been solved, in a sense, thanks to a VR mod by PreyDog. The Hogwarts Legacy VR mod is based on the universal VR mod made by PreyDog, which essentially makes almost any game developed with Unreal Engine 4 or 5 compatible with running in VR headsets. And since Hogwarts Legacy was made in Unreal Engine, it works with the mod. And while not an Easter egg for the game specifically, alright, it's still something that you can check out if you are underwhelmed by the lack of immersion. Currently though, it does require a keyboard and controller. You can't use the Oculus touch controllers or the like, but the experience is mostly a free-form first-person one. It changes to third-person during cutscenes and spells, but other than that, it's pretty cool. In it for Wizard Chess. Personally, I believe that Philosopher's Stone, or Sorcerer's Stone, whatever you want to call it, is one of the most unrealistic Harry Potter stories out there, okay? Because honestly, who in their right mind would do all of this insane shit as a 12-year-old who just found out they're a wizard? No way, not a chance in hell. Especially when I've been growing up getting abused by my deranged aunt and uncle for my whole life. Harry not developing some sort of personality disorder or trauma response because of that is absolutely insane, but it's that, again, aside the point. But also, like, this kid ends up thinking that a teacher is evil. So he, as a newbie wizard with uncle issues, thinks that he's gonna stop the adult full wizard who is a master of potions, and then chases what he thought would be that teacher through a series of trials that nearly kills him and his friends. Hermione can almost get poisoned, Harry almost bites it to the worst mullet in history, and I'm talking about Voldemort on the back of Quirrell's head, and Ron nearly gets crushed by a giant wizard chess piece because they all think that becoming chess pieces in a game where the pieces get destroyed is a good idea. But nevertheless, you can find one of the pawn chess pieces from that set in the Room of Requirement. It's not the one that Ron rides because he rides a knight and this is a pawn, but still, it's kinda cool. Getting close to the end into number 3, Sirius Black's Cell. Prisoner of Azkaban is probably one of my least favorite Harry Potter installments, because like nothing really happens. And I mean, like, yeah, sure, Philosopher's Stone is unrealistic, but this one, it's kind of boring. Like, sure, there's time travel, but it's not like fun time travel. There's no conflict that arises because of it. Harry doesn't need to try to get his parents back together or something crazy like that. And I mean, like, yeah, it introduces Sirius Black, but the whole conspiracy about Sirius helping Voldy and killing Pettigrew, I don't know, it just seemed like it was a lot of exposition and there wasn't really any stakes. And while we may not really be able to reference events from this movie, since it doesn't have long-lasting consequences, you can still see the location where Hermione punched Draco, and through Professor Ronen's office up on the battlements, you're able to visit the very cell that Sirius Black was held in while he was waiting for his last meeting with the Dementors. Casting Revelio here will show you a field page guide hinting at other dark events to come. Maybe perhaps something that got into the dungeon? But ultimately, in at number 2, Avada Kedavra. This one, I mean, this one's fairly simple. Avada Kedavra is the killing curse, and no one has ever survived it, at least at the time that this game is taking place. The only person who's ever going to survive it is Harry Potter, who got a lightning bolt scar for his troubles, which seemingly came out of left field and didn't really make much sense, at least to me, until I saw the spell being cast in Hogwarts Legacy, since the path made by the spell is very reminiscent of a lightning bolt. Not like the cartoon lightning per se, like Harry's scar or like the flash symbol, but definitely more lightning than other spells like Configure or Stupefy. So in that sense, it explains that aspect of things in my brain. I don't know. I've heard some say that it's like the movement that you have to make with your wand, and that's like the scar, and that's why he has it. But also, my experience with the Harry Potter dueling mobile game from back in like 2010, it has it more like a 4 that's had one too many butterbeers. All right, it's not a lightning bolt. hopefully we can find a picture of it to put on screen. I don't know. The mobile game, by the way, was called Harry Potter Spells, and is no longer available. I checked. And finally, in at number 1, Daedalian Key Quest. So I did mention that I think the Philosopher's Stone is the most unrealistic Harry Potter story, but nevertheless, it is what started it all. So there's bound to be a few references to events that have yet to pass in terms of the game timeline. The Daedalian Key Quest in particular is one of them. The quest involves locating flying keys and placing them into keyholes of cabinets to unlock house tokens and exclusive house relic robes. This Easter egg references a trial created by Professor Flitwick to safeguard Nicholas Flamel's Philosopher's Stone, the one that was perfectly attuned to Harry's strengths of flying for some reason, but also didn't present any mortal danger to him like Hermione's trial or Ron's. Looking back though, imagine like if Ron was having like an off day and ended up getting his friends killed in the chess match, but he survived. Whew. Harry may somehow not have trauma from the Dursleys, but Ron definitely would after that. Oh, talk about survivor's guilt. Do you think he would have been charged with like manslaughter? Do wizards have crimes like that they could like actually like try? And if they do try those cases, are they obstructing justice from the London court system? These are the kinds of things that I think about when not looking for Easter eggs. Speaking of which, we've talked about them before, one of which should be popping up on screen now. Thanks for watching.